Good morning, everyone. Today's tip is 428, and it is weight loss success is a skill that you can learn. And the reason I picked that today is I first started off by writing notes from the Green Lights from Matthew McConaughey, but Doc V was talking today about success being a skill. And it's a lot of what our work was in his group. I love that group. I've been in it for a couple of years, and it's given me some amazing, actually probably a lot of the topics. But to be honest, if it wasn't for Doc V's group, I wouldn't be live right now. And it made me kind of curious when he said success is a skill. And I thought, well, I'm going to look up, because we all know I love to go look up on the internet. What does it say about success skills? What do you need in order to be successful? And so what I found interesting is I did find a University of Colorado article, and it was 10 essential skills you'll need for career success. But it was the 10 essential skills for success. And I thought, and honestly, in all ways, this applies to all areas of our life, whether we want financial success, whether we want weight loss success, whether we want success in our work life, whether we want, no matter what we want, if success is a skill, we just apply it to the discipline that we're looking at, whether it's weight loss, improving how we feel about ourselves, improving relationships. It's all in a circle. I think we put mystery around so many things that we become overwhelmed and we don't move forward. And a lot of it is we fall backwards into feeling bad about what happened before and shoot so far ahead that we lose track of. I'm going to say it's like if we were driving to California, if we were starting in Rhode Island and we were looking at the roads in Nevada, we'd get lost before we ever made it to Nevada. So we always have to be looking at where we're at right now in order to keep moving forward. When you look too far ahead into the future, it doesn't work. If we look too far in the past, it's already over. It doesn't work. We have to work right now. And the skills that are the same skills in all areas of life include communication. People need to know what you're doing, how you're moving forward. You need to know what you're doing. Reach out to the people that can help you keep your journey moving forward. So the number one skill for success, hi Ying, good to see you. So the number one, oh, hi Bonnie, good to see you. So the number one skill for success, and like I said, came right from Doc V this morning, communication. Number two is problem solving. And we all know I'm a problem solver. I love that. But I was groomed to do that. My grandmother, I have to give credit to her, because as a child, she had puzzles on a table, and that was her way to connect with us. We'd sit down building puzzles and we would communicate. So see, she put two together in one. She would teach me how to pattern recognize so that I could find four-leaf clover. So everything about her life was giving us skills, and I don't even know if she really realized it at the time, but she used it as an opportunity to connect, and it taught us skills. So communication, problem solving, teamwork. And I'm going to say Doc V's group is teamwork. He is responsible for the behind the scenes things, but there's a few of us that volunteer, because in volunteering, we keep ourselves active in the group and visible in a way that keeps us accountable. So that's an accountability partner for me, is doing the lives in his group. Initiative, you have to be willing to do something that you've never done before and try to find comfort in learning something new. And I've done a lot of that the past couple of years, and I'm going to say I'm loving every minute of it. I'm seeing avenues open that never opened before. I'm learning about things I never knew before, things that sometimes I thought I should have known and I didn't see. It goes back to Doc V and Chris Nagel that always say that the biggest obstacle many of us have is things we think we know that just ain't so. And in my case, I have found a few of those. I'll put a link when I get it. There's some 7K gold and silver stuff that I was introduced to in Chris's group. That's really interesting. And I'm going to put a link just so if people want to watch, they're doing a free coaching next week. So I thought I would share that with everyone because it's really interesting. The next one is analytical. Quantitative, we all know I'm analytical by nature, but I think that goes hand in hand with the problem solving, like pattern recognition things that my grandma taught me. And I think it's about quieting your mind, slowing yourself down so that you can look at something that you've always looked at, look at it a little differently, and try to find a different avenue for it to go down. It's just really interesting, and I really like it. We will say, and I'll say this, we all know about professionalism and work ethic. A lot of offices are casual. The office that I work in is casual, but they will send out memos. Okay, we're having board meetings. we need you to not come in your jeans today, come in dress clothes, because especially for me when I work in a accounting department, even when I was working for H&R Block, H&R Block would say, you got to remember, people are trusting you with their most personal information, and whether it's right or not, they have more confidence based on how you appear. So that's part of the success quotient. Leadership, and I am adding to leadership coaching and mentoring. I would not be where I'm at right now if it wasn't from all Doc V's help, from everybody in this group's help, from learning from all of you, from reaching my hand up and people grabbing my hand and bringing me forward, from Chris Noggle and all that he's introduced me to try to help me go into a different phase of my work life, Doc V and all the, I know some people don't like his things that he's getting into, but I'm going to tell you, I find it exciting, and I find that it's helped me to become curious about learning again. I got to a point in my life where I thought I was too old to learn. I went to college for 20 years because I worked full-time when I went to college. And I got to a point where I thought, well, there's nothing more to reach for. And it was too expensive because I was actually approved to go into the next level of degrees in college. And I stepped back and I'm like, will I ever recover the money that I'll spend if I go for more advanced degrees in college? And I realized for me, the answer was no. And I also think I fell into a hole because I love seeing something differently, or I love, like even Matthew McConaughey, I've always liked him, but I'm seeing him in a different light by listening to his book, because he's had quite a colorful life, but the way he's come out of it is pretty amazing. And humble. He's humble. He's not full of the glitz and glamour. He's in a different way, but being curious and open and learning, I've gotten that fun part of it back. It was always something I loved, but I got to a point where I thought I was too old for it. And you know what? We're never too old. We don't have to open the door and welcome the Grim Reaper in. We can make his job a little bit tough. And like Les Brown says, and I say this all the time, if there's gifts that I'm not using, I want to figure out what they are and I want to share them, because I have a new curiosity, I have a new love, I have a new excitement for life, and I can't wait to see where it's going to lead me. And for all of you guys, I want the same. And if I don't know what direction to go in, the mentors, the coaches, those are the people that are helping me. Chris Noggle, Stephen Nagy, Dr. V. Hi, AC, good to see you. I know there's a few of you on, so thank you for being here. I've got coaches and mentors on the finance side with Chris Noggle and Stephen Nagy, Doc V with the weight loss side, Zara Mahoon with the unlimited, which is that positive thought process. She's been really big for me. So there's a lot of that leadership and mentoring and coaching. And then the next item they talk about is being detail oriented. And it is kind of even in thinking, like I keep lists and like even me, I just have these lists of things that I needed to accomplish yesterday, and I just check them off. And I kind of, like Zara Mahoon talks about 3 things a day. Well, if I can get more than 3, I'm excited. But I just kind of put a list down so that if I get to the end of the day and I feel like I didn't accomplish enough, I'll look at the list and I'll remember, oh, maybe it was as simple as applying for something, but that was something that I needed to do that was hanging over my head, and then I feel good. So that detail, find the thing that helps you to move forward, whether it's a piece of paper or a planner online, it helps you. And then it talks about digital technology. All of us have had to do this, and even my employer, and I kind of laughed about it. When we first went remote, I think they tried every possible Zoom type system out there because they were doing, see, am I going to remember all the names now? They tried them all. I mean, all of them. They had WebExes, and they had Team, MSN Team, and they had every product available. And eventually they went to Zoom, and then they went back to Team, and they went all over the place. But the thing you had to be comfortable with is it got to a point where, and it was kind of frowned upon. Some people were struggling a little bit, and this isn't fair, but they were struggling getting caught up fast enough. And there were a few managers that were like, we don't want you on phone calls, we want to see your face. And it made me realize that you got to stay agile, you got to stay, and that word agile, they use that for a program at work, and I'm not going to say I like it, kind of like I don't like that word mindful, but they wanted you to be able to adjust fast to the changing technologies, and they almost looked at you differently if you adjusted faster. And the last thing, kind of goes hand in hand with that, is adaptability. The world is not going to be the same as it was 2 years ago. It's not the same as it was 10 years ago. It's not the same as it was 20 years ago. I often say that my grandparents dated on horseback and lived on a farm. It won't be like that anymore. We have to be adaptable and move forward. So for me today, what I wanted to talk about is success and success skills, because Doc V said success is a skill, and that's what his talk was about. So I found this article from University of Colorado, and to review their 10 things that they say create the success skill, and no matter what area of life you want to apply the success skills to, it'll help you move forward. Communication, we all know that comes up in every area of life. Problem solving, and if you can learn to like problem solving, I know I have a natural inclination that way, but if you can learn to love problem solving, it adds a curiosity and a fun to the journey. Teamwork, we can't do it alone. We need to find the people that are doing the things we want to do because they can help us get there faster. Initiative, you're going to have to do something. You're going to have to take that step forward. You can't wait. Like Doc V gets frustrated when people say, you have to teach me this, you have to teach me that. He is right. YouTube has everything available. I'm still working to figure out why my backgrounds aren't working on YouTube, but I finally found the video that helped me to identify why I couldn't turn my phone sideways. Because for some reason, every once in a while, my phone updates, and I got to write it down so I remember. But when it updates, it shifts me back to portrait only. So then I got to go find the right thing. And I guess if I had to go back to the same person, like the same IT person at work, they get frustrated when they have to do the same thing over and over. So we have to be taking initiative to find a few little answers for ourselves. Analytical, we know I love analytical. I love to figure out what can be in 10 years, 5 years, or 1 year. And then the next one is professionalism and work ethic. And I kind of pointed out who is your audience and what do you want to represent. In my company, especially since we're finance background, they want us dressed if the board is coming in. H&R Block, they require a certain dress code because they said people are coming in with their most personal information. If they're coming in with that, whether it's right or wrong, they have a confidence based on how you present yourself. Leadership, and I'm adding with that coaching and pushing yourself forward. If you can do this with curiosity, excitement, hope, and just full of love, it makes life so much more fun. Details, just keep a list of the little things you need to do, because sometimes we can become overwhelmed, and if we just see the little things crossing off our list, it can feel good and we're moving forward, and it does feel amazing. Digital technology, it is changing all the time. We can fight it if we want, but it's not going anywhere. So the best thing is just to kind of dig in and learn a little something new every day. And like the one thing says, which might be James Cleary, I might have the wrong author on that. If you change 1% a day in a year, you've changed 37%. Most of us, if we had a 37% change in a year, we'd be pretty darn excited. Adaptability, again, if something's not working, it's kind of like Doc V says, take the shot. When you get down the road, adjust your direction or adjust your path or adjust your journey. That's the adaptability. We've got to stop. I used to be the one that wanted to sit down and have the 500-step plan. I'm realizing now that I get a lot farther, a lot faster if I just keep taking the next step, because I'm further down the road than if I spent a year trying to plan for something. It's that jump off that used to get me in trouble. And what I'm finding now is I love that jump off. I love getting in there and being active in it. There's a whole lot less stress when you're taking the steps now, instead of what-ifing 500 possibilities of what could go wrong when all 500 are never going to happen. And you really already have the base and skills to identify and make a change faster. And you know the teams. We're all around teams of people who have succeeded at levels that we haven't yet, that have their hand out to reach up to us. So I hope you found this helpful. I'm really excited. Over 2 years into this with Doc V, and there is something every day. It will sound repetitive sometimes if you look at it that way, but what I see is that I can always find a new twist on it or a new thing that I can do differently that propels me forward in a different way. And it's really exciting. I'll keep sharing with you guys. I appreciate that you're listening to me. I think you guys are all amazing, and I hope that this weekend propels you into something beautiful, exciting, fun, and fills you with a curiosity for all that's available. Because let's all start running down the road and leave the Grim Reaper running in circles, trying to figure out how in the heck he's ever going to corral us all, because we're not going to make it easy for him. There's a lot to accomplish. There's a lot of opportunities for all of us. The opportunities all look different, but creating that path is a lot of fun, I'm finding, and I hope you find that too. Have a beautiful day, and thank you.